Hey, this is Russell, and I work at the video store, the place that we can all go to every week when it's movie night. On days like today, when the store is quiet, I get to watch movies and series and talk about them with my friends that work here. All right, let's do it. Let's open up the shop.
Did you see that thing yesterday on the TV? It was ready, interesting!
How's it, guys?
Morning, Russell.
Hey there.
How you guys doing?
Good, dude. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Nice.
I'm well rested.
Why?
Oh, nice.
Why so good?
I'll get into it. I'll tell you all about the weekend. Welcome to the video store. Thank you for popping in to our beautiful video store. It's very early, so it's a bit quiet. But that's nice because that's when we get to talk a lot of cuck.
Yeah.
I am joined by Graeme G-Force Hackney,
Hello.
who is an editor. We're not working a shift at the video store.
Yes.
Also the producer of our show. We've got ourselves a Cole Matthews.
Nice.
Hey.
Cole Kolsky.
And you are a creative copywriter.
Yeah.
You've also done loads of things, editors and directing and
Basing and
playing bass. Yes. And my name is Russell. I am the owner of The Bioscope, which is an independent cinema here in Johannesburg.
And also a bassist.
And also a bassist.
Yeah, a really cool band.
Slap at the bass.
Slap at the
I
bass.
still find that one of the funniest scenes. And I Love You, Man. I still cry laugh every time I hear it. Slap at the bass.
I hate it so much.
Oh, I love it.
No, I hate it because of what it's done to me. If a friend comes to watch me in a show,
Yeah.
it takes like 2 seconds for me to walk into a foyer for someone to be like, slam the bass.
Slap at the bass.
Like I didn't slap once in that show.
Yeah. We had ourselves a lovely week and weekend. I want to give a special shout out to our friends from the Universe on Stage,
Nice.
who very successfully sold most, if not almost all, of the Joburg Theatre this past weekend.
Fuck yeah.
Sick.
And I took great joy in coming out on stage and introducing them.
Nice.
It was very nice of them to ask me to do that. And I have to say, walking out and being backstage of the Civic Theatre, which then became the Joburg Theatre,
Yes.
meant quite a lot to me. Because I'm one of those kids that had a part of my personality formed by that room.
Right.
I don't know whether you were the same. Watching shows like the Buddy Holly show,
Right.
watching a lot of the pantomimes, watching a lot of productions,
Yeah.
Yes.
We Will Rock You and all those things, and me going like, that's what I want to do.
Hell
So
yeah.
it was very cool to go backstage and see the change rooms and like
Right.
realize that only once you're standing backstage, you realize how fucking huge that building is.
Massive.
Not just the room that you're in,
Yes.
but behind the stage, to the left, to the right of backstage, are massive cavernous spaces that obviously have these, and up high, because the fly bars you've got to
Yes.
basically have this equivalent of the stage area above the stage. So it was very cool to do,
Yeah.
and it was great to obviously kind of give the Bioscope a bit of a shout out,
Yes.
to kind of mention that the Bioscope was a part of building that show.
Nice.
And then myself and Graeme, we had ourselves a little mandate yesterday. We went and watched The Wild Robot together.
Yes.
P-Dog was going to join us, but he couldn't at the last minute,
Yeah.
which is a pity.
Mm.
But myself and G watched a beautiful animation, which
Yeah.
we want to talk about. I want to talk about Bad Monkey, which is the new Apple TV Plus show with Vince Vaughn. It's a Bill
Okay.
Lawrence production.
Cool.
Anyone else got big things to talk about?
Shogun.
Shogun. Okay,
Nice.
we want to talk about Shogun because the Emmys were last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we'll get into that.
Cool.
But first, let's get into a little Hey Did You Guys See?
Cool.
All right. Hey, did you guys see that there is a Trey Parker, Matt Stone, this is the guys behind South Park,
Yes.
live action film that's going to come out that's going to star Kendrick Lamar.
Wild.
That's a crazy statement.
Right.
Okay? July next year.
Good grief.
Hey?
That sounds fucking fantastic.
They haven't done an incredible amount of live action. They've played a little more, obviously, in
Yes.
animation. That seems to
Yes.
be the comfort zone.
Yeah.
They obviously... I love these dudes because when they put together something like, let's just do a musical, they win
Yeah.
a Tony
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Yeah.
Book of Mormon. So whatever they do really well. So I'd
Yes.
imagine Their early films weren't that great. There was like
Basketball.
Basketball.
I was about to look up if that was them.
yeah. But I think this could be amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, and they're working with like one of the most prominent artists in the world.
Yeah.
Like an award-winning rap artist.
One little interesting fact about Trey Parker and Matt Stone is that they obviously collected the same amount of money throughout their career because they've worked together as partners. But the one, I forget which one it is, I think it's Matt Stone, is significantly wealthier.
Why?
And it just shows, ladies and gentlemen, that you got to look after your investments. So I find that interesting.
That
like
is
with
funny.
clever choices, the one is like significantly more wealthier than the other.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, I got a three-fer.
Whoa.
Three in one. They're all tangentially related. So,
this
hey,
is
did you guys see the trailer for Minecraft? Hey, did you guys see the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog? And hey, did you guys see the trailer for Arcane Season 2?
I saw all of the above, yes.
No, I haven't seen any of it. No, and I've seen the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, it played yesterday when we were watching The Wild Robots. But they're all video game adaptations.
Yes.
that are out.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Do you want me to give you my like high-level summary reaction
Go
to
for
that?
it.
So, Minecraft trailer.
Wow.
Sonic 3 trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Arcane trailer. Yeah.
What is Arcane? Sorry, that's the most unknown
Oh
to
shit!
me.
No, that's the amazing animated series that came out like 2 years ago or something.
It's longer than that. It's been
No
a while.
ways, dude. I know.
Because it takes so long to make.
I remember when they announced it, we were all like, "Oh my god, we're gonna have to wait so long for
Yeah.
the second season."
It's an animated series on Netflix.
Called Arcane.
Arcane, yeah.
Yeah, and it's based on a game called League of Legends.
Oh, that I know. Okay.
Yeah, based in very loose terms. Because
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think League of Legends has a story to the game.
I
at
know,
all.
but they made like all those cinematics and
Yeah.
offshoot stories that they based it on. I'm
League of
guessing.
Legends is like a sort of canvas that you then go on and fight.
Yeah,
Right?
Yes.
kind of, yeah.
It's like you sort of start at the one end, the other guy started on the other end. You
Yeah, and
beat
there's
each other
3
in battle.
lanes, and there are champions per lane.
It's a
and-
MOBA.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
massive online battle arena.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big arena.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
game I've never played, but that show is incredible.
But League of
It's
Legends,
incredible.
I know, is one of those big arena shows. Like,
Like selling out stadiums.
yeah, they sell out stadiums and for people to
Yes.
watch them, and
Yeah.
and the people who win those like big League of Legends championships make more money than a FIFA World Cup winner.
Jeez.
Like, I know that fact, and I don't even know the game.
Wild.
Fucking hell.
Okay,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Minecraft. Do we need to talk
What
about?
a mess.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know what they're
fucking
doing.
insane.
I don't know what
It
they're
looks
doing.
it looks stupid.
It's
It
got-
doesn't make sense.
It's got Jack Black. It's got Jason Momoa.
But it's got live action people in it. That's the real problem.
Yeah,
If it was
why are you doing
well,
this?
I know the real problem is that it exists in the first place. There's no need to make a Minecraft.
No.
movie. It makes no sense.
It's like a SimCity thing, right? You kind of build.
Yeah.
You gotta
yeah,
sort of
They
in a
do
way.
have they do have a story
Whoa.
like mode, but I don't know if there's a
sort
story
of.
there.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
There's like an end that you can get to, but it's not like a narrative.
We were talking about this, like how do you see Illumination make the Super Mario Brothers?
Yes.
And that's $1 billion grossing movie,
Yeah.
right? So how do you see that as a game studio and be like, we're going to make a live action movie of like one of the most successful games of all time?
And make it look like it was filmed in a cupboard.
Yes. Nothing about it looks good. Wait until you see Jason Momoa's wig.
Yes.
Ma, I'm shooting my movie.
Bill Gates.
Yeah. Yeah. Sonic looks like fun. It looks like the same as the other two, which
Exactly.
are not bad movies.
They're not
like
bad
fun,
movies at all.
Light-hearted.
Jim Carrey being amazing. Everyone was talking about Jim Carrey talking about resigning from acting.
Yes.
And something very, very special is going to have to come along to bring him out of retirement. It was Sonic 3.
Yes, playing 2 characters in Sonic 3.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like fun.
Hey, did you guys see that Gary Oldman is going to be playing Dumbledore in HBO's Harry Potter reboot series?
That's confusing.
It is very
Because
confusing.
he already has a connection to the franchise.
Exactly.
He was the prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sirius Black.
there you go.
Yeah.
Wild.
Okay.
it's
When is
fantastic.
that TV show coming?
I would imagine a while. I mean,
Yeah.
I
They're
think it
only
was just
casting
announced
now.
this week, that they put out like a casting call
Yes.
in the UK for like young actors.
Yes.
So they're clearly going for unknowns, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
And what are
Brilliant
they?
idea.
What are they doing that all the movies haven't already done?
I
Are
guess because it's a series, they're going to just be able to put more of the books in it.
they, okay, but
Yeah.
are they gonna start again from the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know,
Okay.
it's a complete reboot, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Because like it's been done, and there are people like. Obviously, the discord around J.K. Rowling, whatever, is going to have an impact on it.
Oh, 100%.
Like-
Joanne. We call her Joanne.
And
'cause
you
doesn't
know
like-
that It would be more interesting if she wasn't involved at all,
Yes.
because then you could like do things that are interesting, but you know she's 100% going to be behind it and be very heavily involved. The way she was with the magical animals movies, and those were terrible. So.
Yes, exactly.
The magical
her and her
animals.
very tactfully naming of characters.
Yes.
Well,
Like Cole's the only black guy in the series, Shacklebolts.
Yes.
And you're like, "Ooh, JK, what are you doing, bro?"
And the only Asian character, Cho Chang. That actress is in Arcane.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the sniper word.
Fucking
And
happy
also,
for her, because I always thought that she committed suicide at the end of the Order of the Phoenix, or Goblet of Fire, because, I can't remember. Oh, she betrays the Order of the Phoenix.
yeah, sort of.
To Umbridge.
Yes.
And then they
'Cause
forget
Umbridge
about
is
it for the rest of the
torturing
movie.
children.
And then the last note they leave her on is everyone walks past her.
Yes.
Like, fuck you, Cho Chang. I was like, dude, what's going to happen to Cho?
I do not remember any of this.
Yeah.
I jumped on that train for the first 2 or 3, and then I jumped off.
Yes.
And then much later in life was like, I need to watch all of the
I
Harry
did-
Potter movies,
I
and
did
I
the
sort
same
of did.
thing.
I did one wash.
Yeah, I did
You
exactly
know,
the
so
same thing.
so I watched them all once. So
Uh,
like, the memory of Cho Chang is lost on me. I don't remember who that was.
I watched the first one, I was like, that wasn't good. And then I watched the second one, I was like, that wasn't good. And then I was like, 2 movies into your franchise aren't good, you've lost me, I'm not watching any others.
Yes.
And then I watched them all in lockdown.
Okay.
So it was like 20 years later.
Yeah, I enjoyed going to the Wizarding World in Osaka, in the Universal
right.
Studios in Osaka.
Oh, nice.
So it was very cool watching like a Japanese Harry Potter.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Like he was quite charismatic. Okay, should we do another one?
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see the trailer for Will and Harper, which is a very interesting movie that is
Okay.
coming to Netflix at the end of September?
I did not.
Do you
No.
know about this? Okay, so the Will in Will and Harper is Will Ferrell.
Oh?
Okay, the Harper is a very interesting person, Harper Steele, who, and perhaps I need your guidance on this. She is a recently transitioned person and spent the majority of her life as Andrew Steele,
Right.
Okay.
who was a writer on SNL and did a bunch of things. And
okay,
there was a
okay.
relationship that Will Ferrell had
Yes.
with this person, and then received this message that she is now she,
Yes.
and they've made this incredible road trip movie, which I think
Okay.
just looks so beautiful that it's a documentary, but it's filmed in such a way that it feels almost
Like
like a
cinematic.
narrative. It's very
Yeah.
cinematic.
Right.
And I just think it's going to be one of these special documents that I think is going to help everyone, or more than most, understand the trance experience.
Right.
Right.
Because it's done through the eyes of Will Ferrell as he tries to understand what
Like a close friend.
you know,
Yes.
what are the feelings and what is the story of his friend.
Yes.
Whoa, that sounds really interesting.
It looks. I think it's going to be one of those really important ones.
And also road tripping across America. Like, what are they going to find
Yeah.
in people?
Yeah, yeah, and I think some folks will, you know, be bang on with their prejudices and misconceptions, and I think some will surprise you.
Yeah.
But I just think it's one of those, like, this is going to be a little gem. It just
Yeah.
feels like it. It just feels
Yes.
like it's going to be important.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Hey, did you guys see the trailer for The Apprentice?
Oh, this is the
Yes.
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
biopic.
Yes, with Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
It looks interesting,
He's too handsome.
right?
Because
He
Donald
is-
Trump's not a handsome guy.
No.
Even younger Donald Trump is not handsome.
Yes, but it looks
He
interesting.
would disagree
It
with you.
looks-
I was the most handsome.
Oh, yeah.
The most beautiful.
Definitely.
Did he? Sorry, just a tiny little tangent. Did he get an attempted assassination again?
Yeah, on his golf course.
Hey, recently,
okay.
like this last weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd heard something about that, but I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay. All right.
I kind of go, "Oh," every time it doesn't happen,
Oh shit.
personally.
It looks interesting.
It
It's sort
does
of
look
it's
interesting.
set over the time, not of the TV show Apprentice. Hey?
No. He's the apprentice in this case.
Yeah.
Sort of about his relationship with his mentor. And it's about him like kind of coming up in real estate and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So set in the 70s in
Yeah.
New York. Yeah.
But it looks interesting. Because it's clearly not like directly vilifying him, but it's also not pulling any punches.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
It looks, yeah.
Yeah, it was a sort of Cannes darling earlier
think
this
so,
year.
yeah.
I think it screened there.
I don't know how it was received, but yeah.
Well, Sebastian Stan, you can be the drummer of Motley Crue and you can be Donald Trump. Versatile.
There you go.
Anyone else? I got one last one. Hey, did you guys see there is a interesting little update that's coming to Apple iOS?
Okay.
Like literally this week. I think it on Monday.
Yes.
Is a part of the new update.
Okay.
It is called Vehicle Motion Cues. Have you heard about this?
No.
Now,
A terrible name. It's not very pithy.
What it is it's a little assistance that can pick up when you're in a car,
Okay.
and it can do this little scientific, tiny little adjustment that'll make sure you don't get motion sick looking down at your phone.
Oh.
I mentioned this. I mentioned the fact that I'm horribly motion sick
Yes.
in many a episode. Most recently, the one when we were talking about the yachting reality TV show, where I said I'd pay that much money to not do the TV show. So apparently, all it is these little dots that are on the sides of your screen
Okay.
that will wiggle along with the motion of the car. And that, just those little dots wiggling in motion, is enough to trick your brain to not be motion sick.
Interesting.
So
Cool.
I just think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I know it's not film and TV related,
No.
but it's like it's something that's happening right now this week,
Yes.
and it means the world to someone like myself,
Yeah.
who cannot look down on.
No,
their
I
phone
can't read while in a car.
while in a car.
No, it'll
So,
kill
yeah.
me.
I mean, like you do it for more practical, logical reasons, right? Like I'm not going to distract myself from the road. Like,
Well, I'm thinking about while being a passenger.
Yes.
oh,
Not
okay.
while I'm driving.
Okay, good. I
always
was wondering.
I always think it's amazingly convenient when I'm in an Uber that I'm like, I feel like I can now work. I can do
Yes.
stuff, because I hate driving. Going like, if only I could just send a message.
Yeah.
If only I could just
I wonder if
answer
they would-
that email.
I wonder if they would work on like a bigger screen, like a laptop as well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, should we get into movies?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about our mandate.
Oh, yes.
Myself and Graham went to watch The Wild Robot,
Yes.
which in the week that this episode is coming out, it is arriving this Friday.
Yes.
So the 20th of September in cinemas around the world. I saw this coming a while away.
You brought it up a while ago.
And it just hit a little chord with me. I'm obviously looking at these releases as they come out, and I'm deciding as a cinema whether or not they're going to be a Bioscope movie or not.
Yes.
It's a little tricky to decide that for kids stuff.
Mm.
And it's quite hard to determine what I should take and what I shouldn't take. Because
Yes.
in a way, almost every kids movie does well.
Right.
Because I
Yes.
think all parents
like
understand that
rush to the
they,
cinema.
They kind of don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But for me, I would love to always be a cinema that champions the movies that deserve to be
Yeah.
screened.
Yes.
Like, I fucking could not bring myself to even finish Garfield in the exhibition screening. I was like, I know this is not going to be a Bioscope movie, and
Yeah.
I like didn't even finish watching it.
Okay. Fair.
And it was number one for many weeks in South Africa, but that's another story. A movie like Inside Out 2 is just like a beautiful, smart movie that just helps things like early childhood development. It helps grow the right morals
Yeah.
and values, and perhaps that's where I'm at.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
where something like Despicable Me 4, with zero disrespect,
Yes.
is just a fucking schlucky
Yeah.
action movie with kids, for kids, with, lots of blasting and...
It's like our Inspector Gadget. That's the way I like to think
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
it.
that's a
Fair
good
enough.
point.
Completely forgot about that movie now.
And
I hope
so-
the same happens to these children.
And so, watching the trailer for Wild Robot, I could see that it just had something else to it.
Yeah.
Then I started talking to the distributors about it, and I was saying, what's it like? What's it going to be like? What do you think?
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to hear how they approach it. And they were a little cautious because they said something like, there's no talking for the first 20 minutes.
Okay.
This is a few months ago,
Yes.
and this is why I'm bringing it up, because it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I said, but it looks like it's Wall-E meets the Iron Giant.
Yes.
And so I said, that makes sense that no one talks for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because nobody spoke in the first 20 minutes of Wall-E, but it's a classic. So what it is it's based on a series of books by a guy called Peter Brown.
Yeah.
And it is about a robot that crash lands and is stranded on an island.
Yeah.
So there's no other humans. We also don't really know where we are in the future, but obviously with such an advanced robot, we're obviously somewhere in the future. And this robot doesn't know why it's there, where it is, what it has to do. All it knows is that it completes tasks. It's a task-completing robot, but it's surrounded by wild animals.
Yeah.
And as we could tell from the trailer, it has an encounter with a newly hatched gosling, and this gosling imprints itself on the robot, and thinks this robot's now its mom.
A baby goose, not Ryan.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
And,
I would love a gosling to imprint on me.
Yeah. Oh, God. And so the majority of the movie is now this robot raising this little duck.
Yeah.
And teaching it how to fly so that it can migrate.
Exactly.
Very heartwarming, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very special. Then on Sunday, we now go and watch it. I find it interesting then that there is quite a lot of talking in the first 20 minutes. So they obviously changed that.
Yeah, they must have.
They must have tried to give it a bit more zest, a bit more context, a bit more thing. But you made an interesting comment in your Letterboxd review.
I think they may have gone overboard.
It went a bit too fast.
Early on, it feels like relentless. The first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, I was just thinking, please slow down.
Yeah.
Please just pump the brakes. Thankfully, it does, and it finds its footing.
So it actually might have been better if we just had a bit of moment where this thing was trying to figure itself out.
Yes.
Trying to realize where it is. So I went and bought the book.
Oh,
and
nice.
I started
Okay,
reading
cool.
it.
Cute.
It's a very easy read.
Okay.
I was going to buy you that for your birthday. I was like, this is something Russell would read.
Well, it's for kids.
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
But you're going to read it.
So it's in the 7 to 13 banner in an exclusive books.
Okay, cool.
And then I found it interesting that the distributor then came back and said there is an age restriction on this movie. It's PG 7 to 9.
Okay.
Which basically means no one below 7, and between 7 and 9, a parent might be helpful to guide you through this.
Yeah.
So for those, very simply, this is a movie for primary school kids. I think it's perfect. I think anyone older will obviously still enjoy it. It's got lots to it, but it's geared at primary school. So anyone below primary school, I think you're going to find it a bit scary because there is a lot of jokes and talk about death.
Yeah, so there's an unusual ratio of death jokes in this movie.
But Cole, it's so funny because it just reminds you that it is a wild island and nature is wild. Everything eats everything.
Yes.
So, there's this great joke about the possum mother who's voiced by Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've got 8 kids. And you just hear she's like 7. So that part's fun. The voice of the robot is Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called that at all.
And she's got such
really
a
good.
beautiful voice. And I listened to this incredible podcast interview with her and Mark Maron on WTF. It's very much worth a listen.
Cool.
Because she's got an incredible life story and such a beautiful, elegant voice. So she was perfect as this robot.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the movie, well, one of the lovely charms is that it starts as a very robotic robot.
Yeah.
But it reprograms itself to fulfill its task. And so it becomes a lovely commentary on how ignorant we are as parents. Where it's like, we don't know what to do. And this robot's going, I don't know what to do. And then realizing it's got to change its programming. It's got to bend the rules, or it's got to tell a white lie, or it's got to do all these things to be a parent. So it's a lovely commentary on that.
Yeah.
There's a tiny little nod to the immigrant story because she is this robot that's very well-meaning, but to the animals of this island, she's the monster and she's evil and she just wants to kill because it's out of ignorance. They don't know what this robot's doing. So it's a nice little poke at our feelings towards immigrants.
Yes.
Amazing.
And then this heartwarming kind of coming together. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
it is a cute little movie.
But here is the clincher. It is fucking beautiful looking.
Really?
Pretty.
Okay, so it's DreamWorks animation.
I like
talk about
DreamWorks.
And it's not doing the super clean cut Pixar,
Crisp Pixar.
Pixar look that we know. We've started seeing recently a lovely play with animation where movies like Into the Spider-Verse just did it so well in the Spider-Verse movies.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles did it to a very punk rock extent where the paintbrush is more jagged. It's more paintbrushy.
Yeah.
And this one is more like watercolory beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's
Cute.
it's different in that sense.
It's less like Spider-Verse, where Spider-Verse feels like they've like drawn on top of 3D animation. This feels like all the texture work feels like painted in 2D. It looks a lot like The Last Wish. That kind of look.
Yes.
What's The Last Wish?
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh,
Which is
the sequel.
Incredible. I've brought this up a few times. It
It is
a
like
phenomenal
it is a
film.
5-star animation.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That is also DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know the Puss in Boots Antonio Banderas character. He came out of Shrek, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he got his own movie. And is this the second?
Like 12 years after the first Puss in Boots movie, they bring out a sequel to a movie that is a spin-off of an irrelevant franchise that is like perfect.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, I wouldn't call Shrek irrelevant. That's just grossly ignorant.
No, it's how is it relevant?
Shrek is so popular,
outside of
dude.
memes, how is it relevant?
It's relevant because it's in memes.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
memes are
in
meaningless.
culture. It's like people talk about it still.
Yeah, but they
Like,
talk
I've
about
seen
it as
people-
a meme. They don't talk about it as a movie.
They do talk about it as a movie. This is all over Threads.
Well, Threads is a garbage platform.
No,
so
it's
who
not.
cares?
All the critics are on Threads, bro.
Okay, calm down, boys. But yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's great. As you said, it perhaps doesn't shoot all the lights out.
Yeah.
I perhaps overhyped it a bit in my head,
All right.
but I still felt all the pangs and all the heartfelt moments. It's solid. It is a solid, beautiful movie.
Yes.
And just by virtue of all these sort of lovely little themes and just great characters, the fox is voiced by Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Halfway through the movie, I'm like, Graham, who's the
Yeah.
voice of this? And he's like, I don't know.
At first, I thought it was Jason Bateman. I'm like, surely not.
Yeah.
Because Jason Bateman was the fox in Zootopia. So I was
Yeah.
like, surely
They
he's not
wouldn't
the
do
fox
that.
again.
Yeah.
But
And
it
then-
sounded like him at first.
And then at the end, we were like,
Yes.
it's Pedro Pascal. And,
Yeah.
the big
That's
bear.
Puppy
Mark Hamill.
Pedro.
The big bear was Mark Hamill. And I
Yes.
was like, what?
Yeah.
So he's a great voice actor.
Oh, he's incredible. I love
No,
Mark
there
Hamill.
were some really like genuine funny moments. You know, the funny moments for the parents.
Yeah.
But it was sharp. It was quick. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend The Wild Robot enough, especially because it is screening at the bioscope.
Yes.
So I saw it coming. As I said, I pushed for it. And so tickets are on sale for that.
It's also sort of the last real DreamWorks animated movie.
What do you mean?
Well, because DreamWorks has fired almost all of their animators.
Okay.
So from now on, all their animated films are going to be primarily outsourced to animation studios in China and India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we spoke about this, there's going to be a live action How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
Which will still need some sense of animating, but
Yeah,
it's
but it'll
more
probably
CGI.
come from a visual effects studio. And this was also from one of the two directors of the original How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, this was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it had two directors. One of them then directed the two sequels and is also directing the live action
And the
adaptation.
other one did this one.
Yeah. He also did Lilo and Stitch
Okay.
and is the voice of Stitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, if no one can do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I've got this in my head.
Yeah.
It's like Brad Bird
Yeah,
in
it's
The
doing
Incredibles.
Edna.
Edna Mode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice fact.
Yes.
And then, what's the villain's name in Incredibles?
In the first one.
Yeah.
Syndrome.
Syndrome. That
Yes.
looks like Brad Bird.
Yes, there's always a character that looks like Brad Bird in his movies.
Because he's just the weirdest looking guy.
Yes.
Yeah. He did Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which very much plays into this.
Yeah.
There is undoubtedly a nod to Iron Giant. 'cause
Iron
it's also-
Giant, E.T.
It's set in the woods and
Yeah.
it's set, you know, and you just see these like beautiful trees and sunsets. And,
Yes.
oh, fuck, it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Cole, what did you watch over the weekend, movie-wise?
Well, started it off Friday night with The Mummy and The Mummy 2.
Lovely.
My brother was watching it. I was like, fuck yeah, I've been wanting to watch this forever. And I only came in halfway through The Mummy because Graeme and I were playing Destiny 2 and then I came back in to watch The Mummy and it was fucking hilarious.
The
I love it, dude.
1999 cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean,
real
we
lightning
said,
in a bottle of a movie.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like fun, and it's like a great era to be a kid.
Yes.
To be entertained by action adventure that's live action, that
Yeah.
feels like it's a kid's movie, but it's family entertainment.
It's a little
And
bit of
it's
a horror
scary.
movie, but it's not
Yeah.
really that scary.
Exactly,
It's
like
more
it
funny.
was scary.
Yeah.
Like the scarabs, dude.
Oh, really?
Oh my
when
god,
they crawl up that guy's body.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
under his
Fucking
skin. And then he's in the room when the light's going off and all the scarabs are coming around him, and you're like,
Yes.
"Fuck, you're fucked, dude." But then, yeah, The Mummy 2,
Yeah.
fucking crazy movie.
It's just The Mummy, but more. It's like the same movie, but with more steps.
Yes,
It's like the exact same plot.
exact same plot.
Yeah.
There's even a plane.
Yes.
There's a giant waterfall face
Yes,
that eats
instead of
them.
a sand face.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
little pygmies instead of scarabs. It's like all
Yes.
the same beats.
No, bizarre stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Rock as a
Yes.
scorpion is
First
still
movie.
Yeah, his first movie,
Yeah.
and it's bad acting.
Yeah.
He's doing his like rock scowl. With his he's doing his scowl the whole time at the
Yes.
beginning. Like he looks up into the sun, like
And then he eats a real goopy scorpion.
yes.
But it's not really even him, right? Wasn't he so CGI?
Well, it's him like right at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, you do
Yes,
see him
yeah.
in
It's like a
live action.
prologue. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, in the behind the scenes.
But when he's
Yeah.
the actual
What's the prologue?
scorpion monster,
Yes.
there was no rock harmed in the making of that. It was such horrible CGI.
Yeah, apparently it was a case of like the VFX studio like putting down tools because they like tried to make it, but they couldn't get an extension on the release dates.
Yeah, because literally, like famously, the story is the morning of The Mummy coming out, the studio phoned Stephen Sommers and was like, "We want a sequel," because it was such a hit,
nuts.
and they were like, "We want it in 2 years." And it just clearly wasn't enough time.
No.
And
Yeah.
and just to create those CGI characters needed far more time
Exactly,
at that moment in history.
Yes,
Yeah.
there've been like attempts to like sort of fix it. Corridor Digital did a video
Yeah, I
where they
saw
like
that.
deep faked it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it looks better, but
No.
And then here's the question, a little bit like Star Wars, is like, do you just leave it?
Yeah.
And because that's what we had at the time and that's
Yes.
the movie? Or do you re-release it with better digital effects so that it can live better? It's a really interesting
yeah, I
one.
think there's a charm to its crappiness, especially now since
Exactly.
it's like become such a thing of like this is the worst visual effect of all time,
Exactly.
which probably isn't true, but
Yeah. Well,
It's still
speaking
just
of
like-
Shrek, when you watch Shrek now, you're like, oh my God,
yeah,
That's aged.
this
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
yes.
It's like my memory is not what.
Yeah.
Like it lives on a lot slicker in my memory
Yes.
than now.
I'm convinced Shrek 2 is the reason Shrek as a franchise has such a positive connotation. The first movie's so average.
That's because
Super
we're all
average.
8 and we can quote it from start to
Yeah,
finish.
but Shrek 2 is like genuinely incredible.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
awesome.
nice
Such
rock.
a good movie.
No, that's a nice boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice boulder.
But Shrek 2 is better in every possible way. It's a great movie.
There was another movie that you said you watched over the weekend.
Oh yeah, I had a free night last night, and I like often spend my evenings playing Destiny 2 with Graham because it's a vibe.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I've got a free evening. Maybe I should just like chill as hard as I possibly can. So in my happy place there, I usually take an edible from a
Okay.
little shop called Next Level in Melville.
Okay,
So these
shout
little
out.
100, yeah, go. You guys know where to go. And they sell these like little 100 rand tasteless like candies that are pure THC.
Yeah.
It's 100 milligrams, which apparently isn't a lot because I'm a lightweight, whatever. And I love watching bad blockbusters, but like sometimes they're good bad.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
this happens often, right? Like fun bad.
Yes.
It's like a really cool niche of movies.
Yeah.
And you can have a fucking great time watching fun bad movies. And I decided to watch The Meg 2 because The Meg 1 was average, and I was hoping
Yeah.
they'd learnt their lesson in order to like ham on it harder.
Yes.
Like ham
it
it
took
up harder.
itself way too seriously.
Yeah, and it was just shit.
Yeah.
And then I was high, and then it was long, and then I was just sitting here being like, "Fuck, this is so dumb."
Yeah.
I mean, like the CG shark action scenes are cool because
Yeah.
I'm all here for like kaiju monster movies
Yes.
and monster munching movies.
Because that's what it becomes.
Yes.
It ends up being exactly what the first one is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it hits this populated beach and it turns into this massacre,
Yeah.
big ass
Yeah.
fight on the beach.
Yeah, but then
Yes.
as soon as like people with words are involved, it's like pathetically. Like it's pathetically distracted, like schizophrenic movie where it's like, what are these people? Are they comedic reliefs
Yes.
from like the 90s? Are you a child director making this movie?
Yeah, it feels weirdly slapstick, especially in
Yeah.
its second half. Did you feel at the end of that movie, did you go, did I miss the climax? I felt like at the end of the movie, I was waiting for the climax to happen. I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's
like
done.
it doesn't have a climax.
No.
It's so weird.
Because you have 3 Megs that you have to kill.
Yeah, 3 of them. It should have been called the Megs.
Yeah, the plural.
The Megs. Now there's 3 of the Megs. Look out.
But I have a nice personal relationship with each of those movies, with each of you two.
Oh, yes.
The first Meg movie was our first mandate.
Yeah,
Cole,
it was.
You and me.
We were barely friends.
We were barely friends, but I was like, I'll be your movie buddy.
Yeah.
Because I recognized quite early on in meeting you and chatting to you, because you approached me for something.
It was Steve.
It was like, yeah, well, it was an idea that you and someone had.
Oh, yes. Ian and
about
I
doing
wanted to do Martin Scorsese's film restorations at the Bioscope.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And so we got to know each other, and I was like, hey, this guy's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, he really loves movies.
Yes.
I really love movies. And it was at that point in my life where I was like, I need more friends. I knew so many people, and especially with the band, you get to know so many people, but there's not many that you could phone up and be like, hey, let's go watch a movie together. So one of the first movies we then watched together was The Meg, which was, I thought, delightfully silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun when we watched it together.
Lovely.
Just one other. I have a recommendation. Next time you're like, I want to do this and watch a dumb movie, watch Deep Rising.
Deep Rising?
Deep Rising. It's Steven Sommers' other good movie. It's the only other good movie he's ever made.
Okay, amazing.
Steven Sommers, the same guy did The Mummy.
And Harry Potter 1 and 2.
Deep Rising.
No, that
Chris
was Chris
Columbus.
Columbus, yeah.
Sorry, getting confused.
Steven Sommers did Van Helsing.
Oh, Van Helsing was fucking
movies.
great.
It's garbage, but it's kind of a jam.
But I was also 8.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's kind of a jam though. But yeah,
Delightful
Deep Rising
garbage.
is a good time if you want a schlocky, stupid movie.
yes.
Okay, over onto TV,
Yeah.
Bad Monkey.
Yes, tell me about Bad Monkey. I
Very
saw the
cool.
trailer, but I don't know really anything about it.
Yeah, so it's Vince Vaughn plays a police detective in Florida, good old
Okay.
fucking Florida, which is like the sort of Easter end of
Yes.
America, where kind of anything goes, right? There's alligators, there's drug money, there's all sorts. And the movie starts with these guys fishing that fish up like a dead arm.
Right.
And it's a lovely... I think it's going to be a limited series. I don't think they're trying to make seasons upon seasons. So
Okay.
it's you can sort of do it in one batch. They're busy releasing the episodes, but I think we're about 60-70% of the way through at this point. And it's a lovely crime drama. It feels a little bit like a kind of kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
Okay.
Multiple stories, multiple people involved, and there's a lovely narrator device.
Right.
A little bit like this kind of Big Lebowski, narrator
Right.
that sort of says, these characters don't know how they're going to, their paths are going to intertwine.
Yes.
And it's cool. It's Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
The writing is sharp because it's Bill Lawrence, who's the guy behind Scrubs,
Yes.
Spin City, Cougar Town,
Yeah.
and then most recently Shrinking, which was an Apple TV Plus great show that had Harrison Ford and all of them in it. So it's a lovely little comedy mystery,
Cool.
a little bit of how does this all kind of work together? Lots of bad people, lots of good people.
Cool.
Nice little buddy moments.
Nice.
All set in the sort of craziness of Florida in Miami.
Cool.
Yeah, so Bad Monkey over on Apple TV Plus.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I feel like we have to get more into Apple TV series because the other stuff that they released looks really fucking good.
They are without a doubt one of the best streamings if you think like a per capita basis.
Yes.
Like out of the small amount of content that they do create, almost all of it is incredible.
And then
Real prestige TV.
they're not getting a lot of views, so they're shrinking that department.
Yes.
They're like defunding it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I assume it costs a lot of money.
Yes.
What they're doing.
Yeah.
I really want to watch Slow Horses. It looks really fun.
It is cool. It's
Yeah.
we did get going on it. Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a spy thriller.
Yeah, it's like Gary
spy.
Oldman is the spy who's put in charge of the crap spies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's where the sort of
cool.
bad spies go.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a fun premise.
Let's end on Shogun.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. So this was completely coincidental. I was, after watching The Meg 2 and being like, it was so bad. I want to watch something really good. I remember seeing a recommendation from Critic on Threads that for some reason convinced me to watch Shogun because we've all heard about it for like 2 years, however long it's been out, and seen billboards and everything.
This is a Disney Plus
Like Japanese.
Japanese set in
Yeah.
in old samurai time.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a remake of an old series.
It's a remake of a book. Well, it's an adaptation of a book that was then made into a movie.
Okay.
That had
John Rhys Davies in it.
Yes, there was a
Yeah.
film.
Yes.
With-
was it a film? I thought it was a series. Okay.
With Toshiro Mifune playing the lead
very-
shogun actor
Okay,
character.
cool.
What is the basic premise of the?
So, so I started watching this, and it turns out to be basically this like court politics drama set in ancient Japan where I can't remember what they call them, but basically the feudal leader of Japan dies, but he leaves a child too young to rule. So he
Right.
gets all the 5 lords together to create a regent council that's going to safeguard the kingdom until his son turns 16. Okay, and then he's like old enough to rule.
Okay.
And in the midst of all of this, Hiroyuki Sanada, who won Best Lead Actor last night at the Emmys,
Cool.
is one of these 5 lords. And the other 4 lords bring him in. They're like, hey, you're making a lot of allies. You're marrying off a lot of the women in your kingdom, and your fief is growing quite a bit.
Right.
We're concerned. We're very concerned.
Your what's growing quite a bit?
Five.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Fiefdom.
What is
yeah,
that?
fiefdom. It's like the size of the kingdom that you rule,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, so
like
we're
what you
wor-
rule over.
We're worried that you're getting too powerful.
Well, you're getting too powerful, dude. You're making us
Right.
like, and also they are powerful, so it's like a big dick sizing contest, and all these guys are just like, "What are you doing?" And they're trying to control their bureaucrats, and they're basically they invite him to, I think it's Osaka,
Okay.
where the kingdom is, and it looks beautiful. It looks so good. It's like epic. There's a big budget. There's sets, and I'm like, this is good. It's a period drama. Yes, set in Japan. I'm having a lot of fun. In the midst of all of this, a Dutch trading ship. It's not a trading ship. You think it's a trading ship? Gets marooned in Japan.
That's
And
that's how the show starts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And these Dutch, you find out that they're basically like fucking inquisitors of some kind. They're
Right.
Protestants from England, like trying to fuck up all the Catholics across the Portuguese colonized world.
Right.
Because they're like, fuck the Catholics. And they come to Japan, and the whole thing is to try find Japan because I suppose like in the middle of Europe and Southeast Asia, he like shows the shogun this, who doesn't know that outside of Japan, the Portuguese have basically divided up Japan and claimed it as their own, and they're trying to replace and supplant the governments
okay.
as like a colonial project.
Right.
And so it's like this guy comes in who becomes this pawn in this battle between these 5 rulers in a way that he is anti-Portuguese, and the Portuguese are trying to gain a foothold in Japan.
Right.
And they have 2 Christian like lords that practice the Christian faith. And it's this whole thing of trying to protect him and or kill him, and some people want him alive, some people want him
Right.
dead.
How true to history is this?
I have no idea. I haven't researched it.
Because I know that for as much as 2 centuries, the Japanese didn't allow anyone to set foot on Japanese soil that wasn't Japanese.
Pretty sure that's going to happen after this if it's true.
So this could have been the precursor of that, because
Yes.
they very famously didn't allow it when everyone else was trading and
Yes.
marrying each other and allowing all this globalization to start.
Yes.
For 2 centuries they didn't allow
Fuck,
it.
dude.
And there was a famous treaty that they at one point had to sign, and they still didn't allow the person to set foot. They built reed mats on the beach, signed this treaty. He went back onto the boat, and then they burnt the reed mats.
Right.
And it's like when you go to Japan, you can see it makes sense that it is just so remarkably unique as a place.
Shit.
And they are they beautiful, lovely people. Some of my best friends in the world are Japanese, but they don't take kindly to outsiders.
Yeah.
And it might have been because of all of this.
Yeah. When I had a Japanese English students, she would tell me that about Japanese people reacting to foreigners most, on average.
Right.
They'll be polite to you in person, but yeah, they're not very fond of you.
Kind of
Right.
secretly don't like you.
Yeah.
So they took great advantage of COVID, and they were like, nope, nobody
Yes.
coming in. Nobody coming in. Whew. Feels like the old times.
Yeah.
But I think like everything that everyone enjoys about House of Dragon and Game of Thrones
Right.
is the set in ancient Japan.
Yeah, there's a reason why
Okay.
everybody loved it. There's a reason why it was nominated for like a record amount of Emmys.
Yeah, I got a crazy number of nominations.
and there were some wins last night.
Yeah, and
And
it won Best Show, and the 2 lead actors won.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think in the case of the woman, I don't know about the others, but in the case of the woman, she was the first Asian person to ever win an Emmy,
Wild.
right?
That's just dude.
I
It's
don't
So
know.
taken
it
a
just
while.
shows you, like,
Or at
we
least for
talk, we
acting.
think we are overwoke, and we think we're over representation, and you're like, no, there still hasn't been an Asian person who's won an Emmy. It
Yeah.
happened last night. Like, so just
first
fucking,
time.
just chill.
Calm down.
We're still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
She's also in that Godzilla show on
Oh,
Apple.
Monarch.
Yeah, she's in that
Fuck,
as
I
well.
haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, lots to watch, lots to still talk about, but I think we've gotten to the end of our day.
Yes.
Oh, damn. It was a short day.
It was a lovely day. So
Yeah.
thank you for listening thus far. Our home base is thevideostore.co.za. Let us know whether there's anything that you've watched. We've got instructions in the description of this episode as to how you can return something you're watching, and we'd love to share it with everyone. But on that note, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for a lovely day.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for listening, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Nice.
Nice, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.